Welcome to my channel, Kaylee Creations. I'm Kay, and I created this mini album during the tutorial for the Renee Bouquet's Sweet Garden Fairy mini album. This is the album I originally created, and as I was doing the tutorial, I did not have enough of the Prima Autumn Sunset to duplicate this album, and I actually didn't want to anyway. I don't like duplicating the exact same thing, and so uh, the actual album size and the way the spine is and everything is exactly the same. I just used a different paper collection and embellishments. So I will put the tutorial for this album in the description box below. These two are the exact same size. I know this one looks a little bigger. It's because it, I've got this lace on the bottom here. It looks longer. This one's a little fuller too, so you're seeing the full height of the spine. This one's sitting down a little bit. It's not filled quite as much as this one. And but anyway, so same amount of pages. I did the format of the pages inside exactly the same. So everything's exactly the same except for the embellishments in the paper, and maybe a few little adjustments I had to make because of the paper difference. So, um, and I even did the same lace on the spine. So, but this one here, I used the Vintage Emporium. It is an older Prima collection. I've had it in my stash for about 5 years. I know it's a little embarrassing, but I set it aside. It was in a box and it was out of sight, out of mind, and so. But I'm glad I pulled it out now and used it on this project. Um, for this album, I did have a couple viewers say they liked this album, but they like the style and the format, but they wanted to use a paper collection out of their stash, and so that's just exactly what I've done here. So maybe that will be helpful for those viewers to see how you can adjust and use a different paper collection on a project. Um, so I have inked the spine with, or the lace that's on the spine in the Tim Holtz ink pads. I used Rusty Hinge and a little bit of the red brick and a little bit of the vintage photo. And I love the way that some of the lace soaked in more of the color than other parts of the lace, and it just gave it a more vintage, worn look. And so I think it came out really, really cool. And I like how it goes with this blue here. And and as we get into the album, you'll see why I chose the colors that I did for the cover. And I have this gorgeous, gorgeous frame from Renee Bouquet's. And I'll have a link to all this below in the description box. I have inked this in the broken china with a little bit of that rusty hinge and red brick, and I just love how this turns out. I think it's just gorgeous. It's very vintage looking to me, and it fits well. It fits perfectly with this album. And it came with a little center oval piece, and I traced that oval on a 3x4 journaling card and cut the image out and distressed it on the edges with the frayed burlap by Tim Holtz. And then I sprayed the entire thing with an acrylic spray in a gloss finish. And this spray here, this floral spray, is from the Vintage Emporium, as well as this ephemera here. I just added a little scrap of lace there. And then these flowers are from Renee Bouquet's, and I just brushed over them slightly with the red brick ink, and just to age it just a little. And then these butterflies, I love how they bring just a little bit of bling to the album cover, and these are from Renee Bouquet's shop, and these are the tiny treasure size. I do have the larger size later on in the album, so, but, oh, and I did add just a little bit of fun fur trim. You get that in the yarn section of your sewing craft stores, and so that's the cover. I will put the original I can't really get them side by side, but I will show the original so you can see. It's just kind of fun to see how you can create something totally different, but it's the exact same format just by using different papers and different embellishments. So here's the original here, and I do have this tag from a piece of the 12 by 12 paper with this cute little box on it, and but I didn't really have a paper. There wasn't really a paper in this Vintage Emporium collection that had such a distinct image on it like that fox. Everything was more in the style of this eclectic, what do you call it? I know there's a word for it, but I can't think of it. Just a bunch of different ephemera images on the paper. And so I just kind of made that whole section the focal point and added this little sticker. I think it came out really cute. And so you can see why I chose the blue. All the 3x4 journaling cards have like this blue and the colors in them. The actual papers are very, see if I take these away and cover up the butterfly, you can see how it's just very neutral. And so I wanted to bring out the blue just to add some interest in the album. So I have these leaves in my stash and I inked in blue. This is actually from the Vintage Emporium collection, as well as this little piece of ephemera here. But the butterfly here is from Renee Bouquet's shop. And I ordered these and I thought they were pretty when I ordered them, but to see them in person, they're just absolutely gorgeous. It's blues with browns and then copper glitter and a little bit of iridescent glitter and then some of that crushed diamond glass glitter. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Had to show it close up. Now this layout here, I did have to change things up just a little bit, and so I'll show you the original and kind of explain why. So I created this fold out and I cut the side of the butterfly out on the right side here to match up with this paper here that matches up with the bottom paper here. So you can see where it says album. So I used the same paper 3 times. So the background, the pocket, and then this fold out, and lined all these butterflies up. Well, there wasn't any kind of such image on this Vintage Emporium paper to do that, so I just had to change it up. And so I just added a piece of paper here that was different from the paper here. This had more of, it had this in the corner, but it was pretty much plain in the middle. So I picked something that had a lot of, this has a lot of newspaper print imaging on it. And then I added this blue lace. I really wanted to bring out the blue. And so this was just a white lace that I believe I got this from Renee Bouquet's also. And I just inked it in the broken china. And it's got a little bit of pine needles and a little bit of, once it was dry, I did take my ink tool and brush over a little bit of vintage photo on it, so to give it an aged look. And then this folds out here, so I can journal here if I want, or you know, whatever. And then there was no you know, butterfly in the center of something, so I couldn't really do anything with a real focal point that I hadn't already used. And so I chose to make this whole pocket my focal point with this. I love this imaging on this pocket. And then it's got this cute 3x4 card in here. And I love this bird on the side here with all the flowers. So really pretty ephemera. And then I didn't have any 4x6 cards with this collection. I didn't have any, so I made my own. And it was still a little bare right here, so I thought I'd put the butterfly here. Plus I wanted to bring out the blue on this side as well. And got a little bit of trim here, little tuck spot here, and then an image will tuck under here and a 4x4 picture or something right there. So this page is kind of fun because when you take away all the embellishments, it's really kind of plain. But I needed to use, you know, some of the rest of the papers because I only had so much, and so I used this flower pattern on the bottom, and this is just, you know, but it's all really plain when you don't have the embellishments on there, and there's absolutely no blue if you take away the journaling card. So I just had to create it and make it look good, and I think I did an okay job. And so it's got this blue lace here that I used that broken china again, a little bit of pine needles so it wasn't so, I wanted a little darker blue, and little trims from my stash. And this came from that Vintage Emporium collection, these brads. And this brad has the butterfly on the center, and just some more of the ephemera. And I chose this journaling card because I really love the colors on the edges in this one, and I thought it would look really good on this otherwise plain layout. This is the original, and this one's very neutral and very soft as well, but it is more of a shabby album, and so that's okay. And once the pictures are in here, it's going to be really pretty. So, and the same with this one. Once I get the pictures in there, it'll add a lot more interest to that page. And then this, I have a text spot behind this journaling card here. And this is the same butterfly that's on the cover, but these are called the Tiny Treasures, and they're all the same size, and they come in a package of 5. And then this one comes in a package of 3, but there's a large, medium, and small, and this is the large. And then I've just got some ephemera on this angled pocket here, and I needed to pull out a little more glue, so I put this on the card, and the peacock feathers peeking out. And then I had to create my own 4x6 journaling card for the last page. So I hope you had fun seeing the albums side by side and seeing the differences in what you could do. I really like the colors in this. It was really fun. I'm really glad I got to use something that was in my stash. And so if you have created a album for my tutorial in a different paper, I would absolutely love to see it or hear about it. So leave a comment below, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to receive more notifications of my videos, click on the little bell next to the subscription box. So anyway, thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.